I honestly would think it's because of my dad. It was him who influenced me towards BMWs. And the minute we reached the BMW showroom, he opened the door, he came out, and he did this. Everything here feels right.
And the BMW 7 Series E38 just simply felt right. The E38 is the third generation of the BMW 7 Series full-size luxury sedans, produced from 1994 to 2001. Sleek and elegant, its design is among what we would regard as one of the most beautiful cars to come out of Munich. The E38 is one of the forefathers of performance luxury sedans today. If you have an interesting classic car and would like to share it and your story, and you are based in Kuala Lumpur, please let us know in the comments below, and we would be happy to get in touch with you. Today, a fellow H&L Classics enthusiast shares his story of his beloved E38.
Hi guys, hi H&L Classics. My name is Dhiraj and I'm an owner of a E38 740iL 1996 model pre-facelift. It took me roughly about 6-7 months to come across a car of this condition, and I went and spoke to the owner and I grabbed it immediately without even discussing, just okay, what's the price? All right, this is it. This is what I'm willing to offer. He said, okay. I said, I'll take it. And that day I flew to Indonesia. I got a tow truck to come and pick up the car, send it for Puspacom test. From there, sent it to the workshop, got all the basics done, the beltings, and the oil changes and whatnot, the consumables. And I flew back from Indonesia 1 week later and I drove the car back to SP. I was in so much joy because I used to own an E39 and I never thought I'd get that feeling of that feeling of being in the BMW cockpit and the way it drives. After getting it very basically repaired in KL and driving it back to SP, I truly enjoyed the drive. It was what BMW expects from its car. It was truly a joyful experience. It was comfortable, it's luxurious, the space is there, and yeah, it's just done right. For me, it was well built for what it was meant to do. Everything you see in the car is original stock and standard. I've not touched up the interior, neither have I repainted the car. I have touched up the paint here and there where there is a bit of scratches and a bit of dots and whatnot, but this is the original color of the car with the original black interior that the car came with. It has not been touched up at all. So the wrinkles are there. As we get older, wrinkles can't be removed. Same with this car, the wrinkles are the same. So I had this deep love for E39 because we had a brand new one in the early 2000s, 2001, 2002. And that's what got me intrigued with the BMW per se. And after the E39 being a mid-size 5 Series, I thought if I was going to get another BMW, it would be something a little bit more bigger. So that's what got me started with the E38, the 7 Series. So you have the pre and post facelift, and then you have the 728i, you have the 730, you have the 735, you have the 740. Even 740 came in 2 engine variations. One is the M60B40 engine, another one was the M60B44, which is on the post facelift model. And that came with double Venos already built onto the car. So you get a better pickup in comparison to this. This doesn't have a double Venos, but then again, I don't want the extra headache or some electronic item. Both horsepower and torque rating are the same. It's just the takeoff is a little bit better on a double Venos 38. So there are many variations, right? So my car came with an electronic front shock absorber with a rear running hydraulic. A lot of people usually kind of swap them out for a coil-over setup. I did not want to go with that. While it was a cheaper option, I actually got the rear hydraulic shock absorbers operational again. I got the front EDCs serviced, and they were also back to normal. And the beautiful part is that no matter what weight you put in the car, with the hydraulic, you always have that consistent body weight onto the chassis. So you always have that right height that is preferred. That's the beauty of hydraulics lah. Anything that is self-adjustable in comparison to using a coil-over. If I were to put my wife, my child, and my father behind, and then with the luggage, it will look sagged at the back. But here, no. Despite the car being full of people and luggage, the car still has that right stance. My start of BMW had a very heavy influence from my father. It was him who influenced me towards BMWs. He, not being a car person, still had this undying love of BMWs. So let me just give you a short example. So before we bought the X5, I took my dad to Audi, I took my dad to Volkswagen, I took my dad to Mercedes showroom to have a look at their SUVs. He had the most sour grape face you could ever find. He walked in like he was not interested to buy a car. And the minute we reached the BMW showroom, he opened the door, he came out, and he did this. Everything here feels right. Throughout my ownership with the car, to be honest with you, I think that this is the car I spend the least amount of money on. And yet, I managed to get it perfect, I would say reasonably fast. And we decided to go with like a rolling restoration on the car. And it just took 3 months for it to be on the road, and it worked perfectly from the get-go. I don't want to go to the point where I want to 100% restore the car to original. I feel it's already original enough. I've not changed anything. I think for me, the end of this car is already here. I enjoy the interior as it is, despite the wrinkles. As we age, wrinkles can't be removed, right? The wrinkles show a little bit of age of the car, and it's not so bad that the interior looks damaged. BMW parts are very widely available, and you just got to be prepared with that little bit of hefty bill again, and don't cut corners, because you want to enjoy what the car is able to give you. When you cut corners, no matter what you do, you will never get back that finesse, which is what we want in this kind of luxury cars. The finesse, the end touch is very important. So don't cut corners. Go OEM, German, doesn't have to be original, but please don't cut corners. You'll enjoy the car as it is. It's the sleekness, it's the length and the sleekness of the car. Any other luxury car which is meant for anybody to sit at the rear and enjoy has got a bulky feeling. And that's where I think the E38, they did it right. It doesn't have that bulky feeling. It looks like a limousine, a sleek limousine. It is truly a very simple car done right. So there's some pros and cons of this car. The pro is it's very comfortable to drive. It feels like you're on a magic carpet. But because of the length, the handling is not exactly what you would think as a performance car. It is a comfortable car. It's meant to go slow around corners. It is not meant for you to dash in and dash out. So handling is good, but it is not as rigid as I expect it to be, because my comparison is back to an E39. A bit biased, but I'm sorry, yes. E39 is a tighter handling, shorter car, tighter handling. This is not a town car. Let me be honest, this is not a town car at all. This is a car from home, highway, back to home. That's it. Nothing more than that. It is a proper highway star. It's not fun to drive in town, unless again, you're driven in for some particular reason. If you're a driver yourself, get onto the highway. You will smile. It was meant to carry everybody in comfort and luxury, and that's what they did. At 160, it's still comfort, luxury, no sound, nothing, no cabin noise. The hydraulics work perfectly well. The people at the back are smiling still at the end of the day. That's more important. Sungai Petani to KL, and people coming out after 4 hours from the car still having a smile on their face. This is basically like sitting in the business class seat of an aircraft. I sat behind in my last trip to KL. It was a very good experience. It was a very good experience, but you know, we are drivers. We can't sit behind for long. I still prefer to be behind the wheels no matter what. But being behind, it is an experience by itself. The space, it allows you to be in thought. The car was built for people to think. When you sit in the car, you can have your time to reflect on what your business requires, what your problems are. You can solve it by just sitting at the back of the car. It gives you the space, the luxury, and that feel of nothing is impossible.